Inside this box is a $1,000 downdraft cooktop that I just sold on eBay. Inside this crate is a $2,800 range that I just sold on eBay. In this video, we're going to rewind the times and show you the process of packaging a heavy, fragile cooktop in a box, as well as a big, heavy, fragile range in a crate. After this video, you will know the entire process for packaging big, heavy stuff, so there's nothing stopping you from making massive profits like I did on these two. Let's get started with the cooktop. Okay, let's talk about how to ship this KitchenAid downdraft cooktop. About a month and a half ago, I paid $50 for it off of Facebook Marketplace, and 2 days ago, it sold on eBay for $1,000. This thing is getting shipped all the way to Florida. I live in Colorado. It's got a long way, so we need to make sure it's packaged very, very securely and safe. So let's get after it with step number one, which is just cleaning it up, dusting it off, making sure the customer is very, very happy with the cleanliness when it arrives. And to do that, I use a microfiber rag, and this stuff from Home Depot. It's cheap, it's good, does the job. So let's clean it up. Okay, first step is done, not too difficult at all. It was very easy. Next step is actually packaging and securing it to make sure it is safe for transport. First step that I like to do for securing it is lots and lots of bubble wrap, and then we can go into the other steps to make sure the glass is very safe. Okay, now that we've wrapped everything horizontally, the next step is to get the top. In order to do this, I like to use 5 or 6 sheets just going over the top. Rather than wrapping, I just layer them on top and make sure they're taped down very, very securely. I want to have at least 3 inches of bubble wrap around the whole entire unit. This really ensures that the base foundation and protection is solid. So let's get after that. The most important thing for bubble wrap is to make sure everything is very tight. We do not want any gaps. We do not want any loose bubble wrap hanging out. Everything needs to be very secure on it. Otherwise, it's basically doing nothing. You want your bubble wrap as tight as possible around whatever you are wrapping. Okay, first step of packaging is complete. Actually, step 2 is complete. We cleaned it up and now we have bubble wrap. Let's go on to the next step, which is going to be cardboard. I essentially like to double box these. So I'll do a loose cardboard wrap around everything. Make sure all the major corners and scuffs, anything that can break, won't break, simply by covering it up with cardboard. Let's do that now. I bought a few extra of these U-Haul book boxes. They're double wide, so they should do a great job with protection of this unit. Okay, we covered all of the corners with cardboard. That is the most important thing, so this thing will not break in transport. Next step, we have to prepare the box. Let me grab it. This is a big box. I use a U-Haul large electronics box, and I use 2 of them. So let's get this thing taped together, and then we can fill the bottom with more packaging material. We really want to create as much space between the box and the cooktop. Okay, our box is built. How do I fill the box? First step is on the bottom of the box, I'm going to use moving blankets to just supply a few inches of cushion. Then, you already know the drill. Peanuts, baby. Packing peanuts are the best. They're so awesome. I love them. They really, really get the job done. Yes, they are bad for the environment, but so are cooktops that don't work. So I'd much rather use these bad for the environment things to keep expensive cooktops out of the landfill. So let's get the moving blankets in. Okay, moving blankets are in. Now it's time to peanut the bottom on top of the moving blankets. Okay, here comes the fun part, lifting the cooktop up and into the box. Let's see how this goes. Okay, easy peasy. Let me show you what it looks like. All right, now 2 last steps. Next step is I'm going to get another box and put it on top of it because this one obviously will not close. Then once that box is on, I am going to stuff the crap out of it with more cardboard, more packing peanuts, and more moving blankets. I do not want this thing moving at all. And as long as it doesn't move within the box, it's going to show up safe and sound. due to the amount of space around the packaging. So let's get that other box on. Okay, we got the other box on. I'm just gonna dump the rest of these packing peanuts in the box, as well as some moving blankets, maybe a couple more pieces of cardboard as well. And then we should be good to go. Close it up, get a label from eBay, and package it out. And just like that, it is all taped up and done. The only thing left to do is tape the two boxes together right down there. And then freight company is coming by to pick up the range. Quick extra. I forgot to add in the little vent cover, so I had to untape it and then retape it. This time I used duct tape, so it's gonna be nice and secure. And then to get the boxes together and cover up any gaps, I used plastic wrap again. So this thing is bulletproof. That cooktop, yes, it's in a big box, but that big box provides so much more protection than shipping in a little bite-sized box. And I'm proud of that. So let's go over and start shipping this big range. Okay, quick aside. If you want one-on-one help shipping items like these, help with sourcing so you only buy the best deals in your area, and get deals sent to you in your zip code every single Friday with a minimum profit of $100, there's a community for you. It's Master Marketplace, the best community for Facebook Marketplace to eBay resellers and high-ticket resellers in general. First link in the description. Join today and I will personally find you a Facebook Marketplace flip within 20 miles of your zip code right when you join. Now let's get over to the freight crating process. Okay, first things first, let's get these two out of the way so we have more room to package up this oven. Okay, first step before I ship anything freight is I give it a quick wipe down. I do not want this thing to be dusty and dirty from sitting in the shop when it arrives to my customer. So first step, we're gonna get a wet little rag, get all the dust off, clean it up as best as we can before getting it onto the pallet. Let's get that started. For cleaning up all my stuff, I just get a big little jug of this stuff from Home Depot, as well as some microfiber cloths. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, gets all the dust off, make sure it looks nice and great for the customer. Okay, now that we got it wiped down, the next step is to remove all of the loose parts. So this includes the grates and the burner caps. I'm just gonna put them in the oven. Now that they're in the oven, to get them to not rattle around, I'm gonna get a moving blanket and shove it in there, make it nice and tight. This also protects the glass from getting scratched up and busted in transit. All right, all the loose parts are off. Nothing's gonna fall off. Those knobs not going anywhere. Now I'm going to wrap it up. A few moving blankets and plastic wrap. It's gonna keep everything tight, make sure the doors in the oven drawer does not slide open in transit. Then we can do the fun part of lifting it up and getting it on a pallet. Okay, now that's fully wrapped up. That's pretty much all the protection it's gonna need, because we're gonna be putting on a pallet and then building a wooden crate around it. So without further ado, let's get this thing up on a pallet. I'm doing this by myself and my appliance dolly broke. This is much easier if you have an appliance dolly or a friend. Next step is to ratchet strap it to the pallet. With these in specific, you cannot ratchet strap over this back board because it'll literally bend the board and snap it right off. So, gonna get a ratchet strap and then go across it so it just stays on horizontally, and that'll be all the securing that it needs. Once it's on the pallet, ratchet strap down, it's not going anywhere. Then we can build the crate. Okay, we got a ratchet strap to the pallet. Now it comes the fun part, a little bit of woodworking. Essentially what I'm gonna do, 2x4s right behind it, 2x4s over the top, 2x4s around it. So if anything tips over in the truck, when this is on its way to Alabama, nothing's gonna hurt it. It's gonna hurt the wood and not the range. I've had too many horror stories from not building crates. So now every single time I do a freight shipment of the fragile items like this stove, I always crate it up. Really no hesitations, no discussions, no question asked. It needs a crate. So let's get started with building. Time lapse begin. Okay, the crate is now completely finished. Not my best work. I'm probably top 5 world's worst woodworker, but it's gonna do the trick. Now the next and last step is to get plastic wrap, just like we did for the moving blankets, around the entire unit. And then you stick the pallet labels on and ship it out just like it's a regular package. Okay, just like that, the freight shipment is done. This is exactly how I packaged all of my last 10 freight shipments, and all 10 of them showed up safe, securely, and all of my buyers were very, very happy. To go over the steps one more time, very briefly. First, clean whatever you're shipping. Second, any loose pieces, secure them somewhere. Third, moving blankets and plastic wrap for your protection. Fourth, get it onto the pallets however you can. If you have friends, it helps. If you have tools, it helps. Fifth, ratchet strap it to the pallet so it doesn't go anywhere. Sixth, build the crate, get all the wood up. And seventh, plastic wrap around the crate to create protection from the forklifts. If a forklift runs into this, they're gonna hear or see the plastic wrap rip before they hit the range. Now we gotta get the labels on, and the freight company's gonna come by and pick it up. If you have any interest in learning about how I book my freight shipments, I made 2 videos about that. They will be in the description. In short, I use Freight Quote, but now I use a company called Priority One. Priority One, you do need to have an LLC or business entity that's at least a year old. If you do, Priority One by far has the best rates. Thanks for watching.